Hi, I'm Carol Cristina da Silva, and you're watching Star Wars Mag.
Hello my dear friends and welcome back to another Star Wars news update. In today's video we're going to be talking about the Bad Batch, Rogue Squadron and much more. As always my dear Megalorians, before we dive into the news, please may I ask you to hit that big red subscribe button if you've not done so, and also be sure to give that bell a good old tickle to be alerted each and every time that I post new videos. So without much further ado and without any more jibber jabber, let's dive straight into it. So we're going to start with the Bad Batch. As you guys know, Kevin Kinner, who is the composer for both the Clone Wars and the Bad Batch, recently spoke about working on an emotional ending for the series. Well, he's now confirmed that he's completed the score for season 1 and things are all wrapped up on that end. So this is the tweet that's been making its rounds on the internet. Just recorded the orchestra for the season finale of #The Bad Batch. What a wonderful experience this entire season has been. It's such a lovely group of people making this show and it's been a joy to make music for them as well as for all of you. So really exciting news there to know that production for season 1 is coming to an end, at least in terms of the musical side of things. But what do you guys make of this, and are you looking forward to episode 6 on Friday? We're only 2 days away and I can't wait. So now my dear friends, we're going to move on and talk about Rogue Squadron. We haven't really spoken about this on my channel before, but it is the next big cinematic release for Star Wars in 2023. It's the Patty Jenkins movie and we don't really know anything about it, but we do have some news. Exclusive: Patty Jenkins' Star Wars Rogue Squadron adds Wonder Woman production designer Aline Bonetto. The Ronin has been able to confirm that Lucasfilm's next big Star Wars film, Rogue Squadron, has added production designer Aline Bonetto. Director Patty Jenkins was announced for the project back in December and has since revealed to IGN that Rogue Squadron is not going to be based on any existing Star Wars books or video games. Everything is going to be fresh. In her own words, she said that Rogue Squadron is going to be something very original, and while it does have influence from the games and books, it's going to be a brand new story. Oddly enough, a screenwriter has not been officially announced yet. What we do know is the official synopsis: the next Star Wars feature film, Rogue Squadron, a story which will introduce a new generation of starfighter pilots as they earn their wings and risk their lives in a boundary-pushing high-speed thrill ride and move the saga into a future era of the galaxy. We are going to spend time in a second speculating on when Rogue Squadron is going to take place. But first of all, let's finish this article. Bonetto, who previously worked with director Patty Jenkins on Wonder Woman, has now been hired for Rogue Squadron. The article concludes by saying we wouldn't be terribly shocked if Wonder Woman cinematographer Matthew Jensen also joined the new Star Wars film crew. As well as Wonder Woman, he worked on The Mandalorian season 2 on episodes like The Believer, The Siege and The Heiress. Filming is assumed to take place in the UK at Pinewood Studios, the previous primary location of the Disney-era Star Wars films. Patty Jenkins is not a stranger to productions made in England, as she shot the last 2 Wonder Woman movies at Warner Brothers Studios in Watford. With Rogue Squadron in pre-production, casting the latest Star Wars film is going to be the studio's next big challenge. So as I said guys, while we're on the subject of Rogue Squadron, it is worth speculating on when it's going to take place in the Star Wars timeline. This is a great article, all the possible time periods that Patty Jenkins' movie could be set. So let's look at all available clues. When we look at the synopsis, there are 2 specific conditions mentioned by Patty Jenkins in the outline. The key words are a new generation and a future era, both being outlined clear as day. However, those terms are pretty malleable and the perfect amount of vague to keep the public in the dark about this new adventure. So let's discuss all of the possibilities on hand, starting with the earliest point in the Star Wars timeline. This is a very unlikely possibility, but we should consider it nonetheless. It could be set before A New Hope. After the events of Rogue One, A Star Wars Story, the legendary origin of the squadron's iconic naming landed in the Star Wars history books. With a couple of squadron members who would be showcased in A New Hope already present, Star Wars Rogue Squadron could see itself further laying down the groundwork for the squad that we've come to know and love throughout various tie-in projects. Our next possibility is between A New Hope and Return of the Jedi. This particular option feels rather unlikely, as anyone who focused on this span of time would obviously want to chronicle the progression of Wedge Antilles' career. Our next possibility is between The Mandalorian and The Force Awakens. Our new pilot friends from Mando might serve another purpose, and there is a possibility that Rogue Squadron could be a new project that explores the gap between Episode 6 and the eventual rise of the First Order. The final option, and the one which I think is most likely, is that Rogue Squadron is set after Episode 9, The Rise of Skywalker. So much like The Force Awakens used the tactic of reintroducing the franchise, the future of Star Wars Rogue Squadron could be doing the exact same thing in its own story after the Skywalker saga. It could finally give the world a post-war cleanup story, but without being saddled with the present timeline to work within. An open road of excitement would put the starfighters of the legendary Flying Force of the New Republic against those who did survive the Battle of Exegol. All of this is pure speculation, but it is worth talking about. But what do you guys think of this? When do you think the 2023 Rogue Squadron film is going to be set in the timeline? Personally, I'm more excited about Disney Plus and all of the amazing upcoming shows that we have to look forward to. So now, my dear Mandalorians, we're going to finish on a subject that I was going to make as its own separate video, but I think since we're talking about the future of Star Wars, it might fit well here. And also, as you guys know, I like to finish my videos with speculation and theories. Well, today I want to talk to you about Luke Skywalker and the fact that he did in fact have a canon wife, and I'm not talking about Mara Jade. When Episode 8 The Last Jedi came out in 2017, something which a lot of fans hated was how depressed, isolated and hopeless Luke Skywalker had become. The once great hope for the galaxy who redeemed his father to the light side was now nothing more than a broken hermit waiting out his final days on Arc 2. Something which Rian Johnson failed to explore is what happened between Return of the Jedi and The Force Awakens that caused Luke to become what he was. 1 year later, in 2018, Jason Fry released his expanded novelization of the movie. The Last Jedi Expanded Edition. Whether you loved or hated the movie, I do urge you read this novelization. It'll definitely change your mind on at least some elements of the creative decisions made for Episode 8. Author Jason Fry notes that the novel was written using unused script material from the movie, and numerous consultations happened before the final version of the book was released. Now, when you start reading the prologue of the book, the first line stands out like a sore thumb, and I remember being absolutely baffled. The line reads, "Luke Skywalker stood in the cooling sands of Tatooine, his wife by his side." Immediately, this invokes a confused reaction since we never in canon saw Luke having any romantic relations. Of course, in the now expanded universe, he had a wife called Mara Jade Skywalker, who originally worked for Emperor Palpatine. But the wife mentioned in this prologue is not Mara Jade, but rather a woman named Camie. She appears in a sequence where Luke is having a vision on Arc 2, where he dreams of an alternate universe, a timeline where things ended well for him and he didn't lose hope, a timeline where he married his childhood friend Camie. Now, we'll get back to the significance of this alternate universe later, but first of all, let's talk about Camie. Believe it or not, Camie appears in many deleted scenes for Star Wars A New Hope. In the first draft of the movie, George Lucas created a love interest for Luke Skywalker, and this was Camie. If you remember Tosche Station, where Luke wanted to go pick up some power converters, well, that's where Luke, Biggs, and Camie often hung out. Here is a deleted scene featuring them. Camie was played by actress Koo Stark, and the character popped up in a fair amount of non-canon Star Wars stuff prior to the Disney takeover. Notably, the NPR radio adaptation of Star Wars features Luke bursting into Tosche Station, and he tells Biggs, Camie, and a guy named Fixer that he's seen a huge space battle in orbit of Tatooine on his macro binoculars. This detail also makes it into the prologue of the Last Jedi novel, insofar as Luke dreams of the events going differently. In Luke's dream, no one believes him, and he doesn't get all jazzed out about going to fight the Empire. So now that we've established who Camie is, let's talk about why the vision that Luke has is so important going forward. I believe that we might see Camie as the canon wife of Luke Skywalker in the Mandalorian timeline. It's been speculated for a long time now that the Mandalorian might follow a different timeline to that of the sequel trilogy. In a sense, and this is just a theory, Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau might place episodes 7 to 9 on a separate timeline to what happens in the Mandalorian and its spin-offs. This could easily be achieved in Star Wars Ahsoka, since we know the show's going to deal with the world between worlds. What if Luke's vision in the Last Jedi novel was tapping into the version of events that we're about to see following The Mandalorian Season 2, where Luke does get married to Camie and the story doesn't end with where we see him in the sequels? It's certainly interesting food for thought and not as far-fetched as you might think. Alternate realities and parallel universes are both aspects of the Star Wars universe that the Ahsoka series and maybe even The Mandalorian will touch upon. If they do, we might even get to see Luke's canon wife Camie. Alternatively, they might decide to bring Mara Jade back into canon. So what do you guys make of this theory and all of today's news update? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. If you guys enjoyed this one, please be sure to give me a big fat thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and also be sure to check out my Patreon. The link is down there in the description. Otherwise, I'm Star Wars Meg, wishing you all a phenomenal rest of the day, no matter where you dwell in the galaxy. Have a good one.